waiting on the sidelines for a long time. Now I'm finally getting in the game. It's about time. This is my time. This is my time. The only thing I consider impossible is losing. I've been waiting on the sidelines for a long time. Now I'm finally getting in the game. It's about time. This is my time. This is my time. The only thing I consider impossible is losing. On the sidelines for a long time. Now I'm finally getting in the game. It's about time. This is my time. This is my time. The only thing I consider impossible is losing. I've been waiting on the sidelines for a long time. Now I'm finally getting in the game. It's about time. This is my time. This is my time. The only thing I consider impossible is losing. On the sidelines for a long time. Now I'm finally getting in the game. It's about time. This is my time. This is my time. The only thing I consider impossible is losing. I've been waiting on the sidelines for a long time. Now I'm finally getting in the game. It's about time. This is my time. This is my time. The only thing I
BetUS, America's favorite sportsbook and casino. Live betting and racebook. We're celebrating 30 years with a historic offer. A 125% sign-up bonus on your first 3 deposits. Plus 10% gambler's insurance. Get started today. BetUS, where the game begins.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to TD Fans Talk, home of the real Miami Dolphin fans. Y'all punch that like button on your way in the building. This stream is being powered by BetUS. Receive a 125% bonus. The link is in the description of the video. Take advantage of that bonus. 125% on your first 3 deposits. Yes, that is a historic bonus on your first 3 deposits. BetUS, get in the game, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, BetUS is not just a sports book. BetUS also has the casino as well for those who like to play in the casino. Right now, I got blackjack fired up for those who like to have a little fun. Y'all know what time it is. Check out the BetUS Casino if this is your type of fun, and enjoy the games right here at BetUS. Also, don't forget, BetUS TV has shows for every single sport in the NFL, ladies and gentlemen. The NFL, NBA, everything. I mean, college football, just about everything is right on BetUS TV. Make sure you check it out. All the links for the other channels are listed in association with it as well. All right, man, we got a good stream for you all today. Again, the link is in the description of the video for BetUS, so make sure you check it out. But we got a good stream today because we got to talk about Miami Dolphins Chris Grier being on the hot seat, and we're going to do a final mock draft. All right, we are going to do a final mock draft. All right. Shout out to everybody watching right now. The homie Omniron, Horsey Head in the house, Andres Negron, Ronnie N. What's going on? Beyond the Details, B. Glenn, my brother in here, man. Love you, bro. California in the house. Pete is in the house, man. Everybody's showing up tonight, man. I appreciate you guys coming through. What up, Ronnie? I see you too. Shout out to the Mod Squad. Shout out to all the members of the channel. Salute to you all. Thank you for the love and the support as always. All right. Somebody says something about clickbait. This ain't clickbait, bro. This ain't clickbait. Chris Grier is on the hot seat, and he should be on the hot seat. And for any reason, if he's not on the hot seat, then what are the Miami Dolphins doing? Let me see if y'all understand in the chat. Do y'all know what year we're about to go into for the rebuild where Chris Grier took the reins? Put it in the chat. Do you know what year we are about to go into? Put it in the chat. All the way from year 1, purging the roster. We are about to go into year 6 of the rebuild. Let me sip some more water on that because a lot of people ain't never think about that. Think about that. We are entering year 6 of the rebuild, and they had one playoff win. And they had one playoff win. And we all out here want to sit here and act like Chris Grier doesn't need to be on the hot seat. What's wrong with some of you? I'm sorry. I'm following. You know what? You know, I'm gonna be honest with y'all, man. You know, oh my gosh, I gotta be honest with y'all. What makes a good YouTube channel where a lot of people love you and stuff? You don't call people out. You don't attack your audience. You don't sound arrogant, all these things, be likable. You got to be likable. You got to appease to people, make them feel good about everything. I'm gonna be honest with you. That's what actually makes, those good, successful YouTube channels. And I'm gonna be honest with you, there's always times where I go back into, I want to make sure the channel is, I'm treating it right and I'm doing what it takes for it to be a good channel. But it's moments like this where I'm like, man, cut the crap. What's wrong with some of y'all? What, like for real? Like, can we put our like? Come on, man. Like, what's up with some of y'all, man? Like we walk around here like everything perfect. And, if the Dolphins don't win the Super Bowl, there is a legitimate reason that we couldn't control. Like the injuries. Oh, if we would have got injured, we would have had the Lombardi. Just like the Cincinnati Bengals would have had it. Just like Trevor Lawrence and them would have had it. Like we would have had it. Oh, if our quarterback didn't go down the year before, we would have had the Lombardi. Oh, if Flores wasn't who he was, we would have had the Lombardi 3 years ago. Come on. If they wouldn't have never, did that thing with Fitz and all that controversy, we would have had the Lombardi, our quarterback rookie year. Oh my gosh, if we would have just started Fitz the whole season instead of Josh Rosen, we would have had the Lombardi that year too. Like, what's up with some of y'all? Chris Grier is in the 6th year, going into the 6th year of the rebuild, and we ain't even got a playoff win, and we making it seem like, oh, it's all good. Grier ain't no issue. And then this is what I hear all the time. No, we ain't letting Grier go. Grier brought in a lot of talent. Ladies and gentlemen, Do you know how easy it was to get Tyreek for what we gave up and willing to pay him? 28 teams in the NFL could have secured Tyreek Hill for the package we gave and the money we gave. 28 teams. And I'm just saying there were 3 others that wouldn't, just to say it. But any general manager could have did that. All they had to do was be willing to give up all the picks and all the money. Well, that's what made Chris Grier a good GM, because he was willing to. Are you kidding me? Let's get something straight. It's not a success unless you can win with it. I don't care who you bring in. Christian Wilkins was a good draft pick. You didn't even keep him. Fail. Like y'all gotta realize, you don't draft the player and groom them up to be something and then let somebody else reap the benefits of it. I don't care if you say, well, I wouldn't have wanted to pay him that much, but you paid Tyreek 30. Yeah, but Tyreek is more valuable. Where's the playoff win? Oh, well, Tyreek was better under Tua than he was with Mahomes. No, he wasn't. He won games in the playoffs with Mahomes. All these ridiculous narratives. Why do we never look at the end goal, the big picture, winning a Super Bowl, or at least competing for a Super Bowl? If you can't even win one playoff game, you ain't in contention. Well, he went and got Ramsey. For what we gave up to Ramsey and how much we paid him, any GM could have done it. This is what a lot of y'all don't realize. Bradley Chubb, they took a first-round pick from almost anybody. And he would have been willing to come if you were paying him what we paid him. It's not hard. The moves Chris Grier made were not hard. Do you want to know what was hard? What was hard was drafting the right corner instead of Noah Igbenogany, and he failed and gave you Ramsey so that you can not notice. What's really hard for a general manager is drafting another instead of drafting Cam Smith, you said draft the corner that you would have loved right away, so you didn't have to get Ramsey. You wouldn't have spent this money on linebackers if you would have just hit on Channing Tindall. You wouldn't have spent this. You wouldn't have went out here and now we got Poyer, a rental, if you would have just hit on Brandon Jones. Oh, he did hit on Brandon Jones. You know, he got a little more money than what you draft them for. I know you can't keep all your players, but dog, does it not look like we letting them all go? And don't give me no Austin Jackson. He got Austin Jackson a desperation deal. Did you know that Austin Jackson's contract only has 1 year guarantee? And it looked like he signed this big extension. Oh, Justin Jackson got a nice extension. It was a 1 year deal. It was a 1 year deal. No, it wasn't. It was a 3 year, 1 year guarantee. Our general manager ain't doing nothing impressive. If you would have hit on Austin Jackson in the first place, you wouldn't have had to go get a Mr. 11 game Teron Armstead. All of this money and draft picks we gave up for a bunch of players for us to think our general manager cooking when any general manager could have paid for it. Any general manager could have paid and gave up the assets for it. It's always better to draft the right player and get them cheap for 4 years than going to spend top dollar on players all 4 years you have them, or 3 or 2 years you have them. But we want to say Chris Grier is making moves. And I'm sorry, I don't care how much talent he brings in here. He could bring in Patrick Mahomes, Justin Jefferson, Tyreek Hill, the best of everything. If they don't win a playoff game, it's a failure. It's a failure. And why can't we compute that? If you're not doing anything with the talent you brought in, it's a failure. We get this high off of just us having players that we could argue with people about of maybe being, well, we got the best receiver in the game. Well, when Teron Armstead healthy, he one of the best tackles in the game. Waddle is one of the best receivers in the game, man. Ramsey, one of the best corners in the game, man. Don't be disrespecting Holland. He one of the best safeties in the game. We get a high off of the players that we have that don't amount to nothing in the playoffs, but we still poke our checks out like we got this it team. Newsflash, ladies and gentlemen, the talent we have alone with a bad coach should have won a playoff game. Even if we had a bad coach, the talent we got alone should have won a playoff game. I just don't understand our thought process in all of this. And I know my haters going to come in, oh, he's always complaining. What you ecstatic about? Please tell me, what are you ecstatic about? If I'm always complaining, that means you always celebrating. What you ecstatic about? Give me the reason I should be ecstatic. For all those people who keep coming at me saying, why you always complaining? Tell me what I should be excited about. Please. Tell me, just give me 3 things I should be excited about, and I don't know if you can come up with one. How you gonna ever get better if you don't complain about the things you don't like? You won't even point out the things that you don't like. We all got stuff on this team that we're like, I don't know about that. Stop letting these people bully you into submission by not speaking your mind and how you feel about something. Y'all give me a second. One more. Love you too. Man. Slippin' Jimmy said we celebrating our playoff win 20 years ago. Yeah, man. I'm sick of telling people, well, we were the only undefeated team to win a Super Bowl. We the only undefeated team to win a Super Bowl. Oh, NFL, we got the NFL passing leader. Jameis Winston was the NFL passing leader before. Like, come on, man. No, I ain't bullying people. I'm just saying, man, man, y'all don't understand, man. Like, no, people like I be hearing people sometimes be like, TD, you changed a lot, man. I used to rock with you, but now, man, you ain't very positive anymore. Like, at what point is enough and you just gonna speak your mind and tell the truth? Like, at what point is it okay to say, okay, I don't like what I'm seeing? Now, the thing that I didn't like that I'm seeing just caused some other things I didn't like I'm seeing. And it's like a ripple effect on this team. And then there's a lot of the same principles and bad ideas they keep doing, and it just ain't working. And when you point it out, and it's like this ripple effect of continued bad decisions that cause other bad decisions. And it just becomes this nasty thing that's a revolving mess. But it takes people like this is what it takes. It'll take 3 years from now, the Dolphins finally moving on from the quarterback, finally firing the head coach, probably not even Chris Grier, because there we go again with bad habits. And it'll take like something drastic, and then somebody like me like, why y'all acting surprised? We should have did this 8 years ago. We should have at least did it 5 years ago, and now y'all out here acting surprised. Well, let's not harper on the past. Let's focus on the future. All right, then we focus on the future. We talk about, oh, I like this, I like that. You have hope. Then they start them same dumb principles again, getting all the injury-prone players, falling in love with somebody that ain't proved nothing. So they start the whole thing over. Then when you point out to the people, there they go, they doing it again. Oh, why you being negative, bro? You had just started to be positive again, and now you're right back to being negative. It ain't nothing we can do right. Well, when we start doing right, I will report on it. If you've been a Dolphin fan less than 10 years, this ain't for you. Some of y'all gonna get it right away, so you can understand. But if you've been a Dolphin fan less than 10 years, this just may not be for you. Why do I say that? Because in order to get to the point to where you see what I'm talking about in a lot of cases, you got to get in this about 15 years. Trust me, it's gonna come. If we keep doing what we're doing now, it's coming. You're going to get there. But it's going to take about 15 years. But all my 15 plus year people, put it in the chat. Put 15 plus in the chat. Put 15 plus in the chat. If you know what I'm talking about, put 15 plus in the chat. Are we not repetitively doing the same thing over and over and over again? Let me tell you the true reason I'm mad. And my haters gonna be like, he go about Flores again. It actually ain't about Flores, but I'm gonna use him in this as a timeline. This is why I'm truly mad. When they brought Flores in, they did something that we finally never did before. I was excited about it. Most teams don't even do this. Most teams don't do this, and we did it. We stripped the entire roster. I mean, we had everybody that work out here in the streets. I mean, truth be told, like players like Nick Needham and all of them that were undrafted players and all of those boys. That's why I love guys like Nick Needham. They make a name for themselves from nowhere. Man, I'll never forget when we stripped the whole roster, Tunsil gone, blah, 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 go. Boy, we were stripping the roster. And I was like, yeah, we never did this before. We gonna do a true reset. Not them half resets, just getting rid of the big money players. No, man, they stripped the whole roster. And that gave me hope because I say, this is something we ain't never did before, so we ain't gonna repeat the same mistakes. And when Grier and Flores and them came out there on the podium and they were like, we're going to take a methodical approach. We have a 3 to 4 year plan to make us contenders in this league. And I saw it. They stripped the roster and they said, look at all these quote unquote nobodies. A team of like we had a few somebodies on the team, but they barely played. We shut them down. They get a little ankle tweak. We put them on IR. Y'all remember that year we stripped everybody? We put everybody that was good on IR. You limping a little? IR. Y'all remember? Please tell me y'all remember this. And they were preserving the few little good players we had, sitting them on IR. Xavier and Howard, all them boys. And right there I said, man, look at that. We got like 40-something players that nobody know who they is. And they making names for themselves. Look at old Van Ginkel, guys like that. Look at old Nick Needham. Look at these guys making a name for themselves. Okay. You see what I'm saying? A whole bunch of nobodies, but they making names for themselves. All right, we got some few players that we found they can compete in the league. They not superstars, but they are good depth. All right, now let's go in this draft and let's get our quarterback. I didn't agree with selecting Tua. But it was okay. I had my draft analysis on Tua ain't the guy. I had every right to say that. And I want time to tell. But we're still on track. They drafted a quarterback they love. I don't love them, but that's just my prerogative. That don't mean they doing anything wrong. All right, they draft the quarterback. Okay, they got a left tackle. All right. Now they what else they get? They got the quarterback, they got the tackle, then they got Noah Igbenogany. Ooh, yeah. Okay, some cornerstone pieces. I like this. All right. Noah ain't looking good, but it's okay. Let's develop. Next draft, Waddle, Jalen Phillips, Javon Holland, okay. See, we following the path. Build through the draft. We ain't never did this. And then all the controversy was all between that. Deshaun Watson, Lamar Jackson, Tom Brady. And I was even impatient. I wasn't even patient. I was like, man, if we could get Deshaun Watson, Lamar Jackson, or Tom Brady, you go get them and you load the team. Let's go. Let's load the team. I was like, ooh, we building something. Now get the quarterback and let's load this boy. Let's go. I was impatient, but I'm a fan. I could be impatient, but I could also recognize and tell you all I was being impatient. Okay? We didn't do that. We went into that third year. They fired Flores, all the drama, right? But okay, you fire Flores. If that's what you wanted to do, that's fine. But don't forget the plan. Keep building in the draft. Keep going to get these players. Itself, right back to the old us. Now we trade all our assets for certain players. We act like we went and got Lamar Jackson, Deshaun Watson, or Tom Brady, and we did exactly what I wanted us to do if we would have got one of them guys. But with the same old tool, we went for broke. Tyreek Hill, Teron Armstead, Connor, come on. We went right there. We went off the trail. We said, screw the build. Let's just go get the players. Because during the build, I failed on Hunter Long. I failed on Noah Igbenogany. I failed. It was other picks too. But Chris Grier was failing low-key on picks that were supposed to be a big part of the future. And he got tired of failing because he knew eventually it was going to catch up to him if he kept failing that way, because the team wouldn't have been able to be competitive. And everybody would have started looking at who? Him. Everybody would have been looking at him. So what does he do to make sure no one looks at him? All right, let me do the easiest thing a general manager can do. Give up assets, give up big money, and hide my flaws. And matter of fact, when I hide them, I'm going to go get one of the best players in the league, and they're going to feel like it's my strength. They ain't even going to remember I drafted Noah Igbenogany. They're not even going to remember the players that I drafted that ain't working out. They won't even remember them. And sure enough, you look at us Dolphin fans out here. Oh, no, you don't get rid of Chris Grier. You don't see this roster he built? Oh, gosh, man. Shout out to Ayo Miggy. Said TD Nation stand up. Salute to you, homie. Appreciate you being a member for 5 months, by the way. Love you for that, man. Thanks. But nobody wants to recognize we went off the path of the rebuild as soon as they fire Flores. As soon as they fire Flores, screw the rebuild. Let's just go buy some players and let's try to go for it now. And when you look at the last 2 years, here's the shame of it all. Most Dolphin fans can't even realize the last 2 years has been nothing but a failure. All they see in their head, we made the playoffs for the first time in a long time. That's all they think about. We made the playoffs for the first time in a long time. We made the playoffs because 7 teams get to. We made the playoffs because 7 teams are allowed to. The first year we made the playoffs, we made it winning less games than the coach that was here before that. Very fortunate that the rest of the AFC was weak. And last year we make the playoffs, but we ended the season with the easiest schedule in the NFL. We thought we were supposed to have the hardest schedule in the NFL, but when the season was over and they tallied up the strength of schedule of every team in the NFL last year, the Miami Dolphins had the easiest, ranked 32 easiest schedule in the NFL of all football teams. And I am not lying. Go look it up. Number 32, not 28, and I'm exaggerating that we had the easiest. 32, the easiest schedule in the entire NFL last year. And we just think it's the biggest accomplishment ever to go to the first round, barely, by the way, snuck in, or should I say, lost everything and got in the back end and lose in the first round. Well, you tripping, bro. I mean, we lost to the Super Bowl champs, the Chiefs. I ain't gonna lie, the Chiefs had a good defense this year, but this was the weakest Chiefs team that it's been in a long time. The weakest Chiefs team there has been in a long time. And let's get something straight. The Miami Dolphins had more talent than the Kansas City Chiefs on the roster. And here's a little caveat for you. Even with the injuries, you can argue the Miami Dolphins had the better roster. And if you don't want to concede that, well, we had the better roster when we were healthy and we played them in Germany. And still lost. Somebody said this on the Huddle show earlier, and I'm stealing it. I'm gonna tell everybody from here on out that it's my saying that I created. I'm telling y'all live right now. I saw a saying in the chat by somebody on the Huddle, and I'm gonna start saying it so much that I'm gonna tell everybody I created that. I even put it on Twitter and put my name like it was my quote under it. That's how much I stand by this quote now. That it's mine, and I'm going to scream it to the high heavens every chance I get on the stream. And when I say it right now, you make sure you soak it in and keep it with you. Soak it in and keep this quote with you. You ready? Are you ready? Here we go. If you don't have an elite quarterback, you need one. So when people all out here arguing about certain things, you just respond. If you don't have an elite quarterback, you need one. Oh, with TD, 30 teams in the NFL need a quarterback then. If you don't have an elite quarterback, you need one. You ain't making a point by saying that. You are not making a point by saying, well, it's only 2 or 3 elite quarterbacks in the league. Well, if you ain't got one of them, you need one. Sick of playing with some of y'all. If you ain't got one, you need one. You think it's coincidence the elite ones are the only ones out here winning Super Bowls at this point? Now, is there possibilities to win a Super Bowl without one? Of course. But stop using quarterbacks that won a Super Bowl as an example that's not elite, that played in an era where quarterback money didn't impact the cap like it is today. Guys like, what's his name? Flacco. Go look at how much money he was making in. Go tell me how much money Stafford and them boys, they were making when they won one. The impact on the cap. If you ain't got an elite quarterback, you need one. Because you know what's happening in the NFL now? When you got a really good quarterback, you just stuck with a guy for 10 to 15 years. That's it. The guys in the NFL, not elite, but they're really good. That just means you stuck with a guy for 15 years. Now, again, can you win a Super Bowl with a non-elite quarterback? Yeah, but they better be on their rookie deal. And then when they get off their rookie deal, you better ask yourself, if you ain't got an elite quarterback, you need one. He better be on his rookie deal. You better be on your rookie deal. CB83 said team game. How much of a team game was it with the San Francisco 49ers, where the whole team played very well in the Super Bowl? But Brock Purdy made one more mistake than Patrick Mahomes did. Go watch the game, ladies and gentlemen. Patrick Mahomes had 2 mistakes in that game, and it was in the first half where he overthrew his guy twice in the end zone for the touchdown, and they settled for a field goal. But Brock Purdy had 3 big mistakes in the third and fourth quarter. One was Ayuk coming across the middle. One was his guy in the back of the end zone, threw it about 40 yards, but he overthrew it. And there was another one I just don't remember, but I counted 3-2. That's all it came down to. Well, I mean, the 49ers play well. Brock Purdy played really good. But Mahomes played 1% better. And that's all that mattered in that game. You want to talk about 2 juggernaut teams going head to head? How about the 49ers Lions game, 35-34 or something like that? Something like it was up there. It came down to who made the least amount of mistakes. It's that simple. It's that simple. As much as Baker Mayfield revived his career this year, it came down to the last drive, him throwing the interception. Same thing with Jordan Love. Oh, Jordan Love on the scene now. It came down to him the last play throwing that interception. You can call it whatever you want. You can call it whatever you want to call it. But at the end of the day, I keep telling you, when you get to the playoffs, it's all about the quarterback. When you get to the play, yeah, the team can make some mistakes so they can do greater things to help, but it's going to come down to the quarterback. It's that simple. That simple. Is Kaepernick elite? Not at all. Not at all. Just like Brock Purdy ain't elite. Really good, but not elite. Jared Goff ain't elite. Really good, but he not. No, CJ Stroud ain't elite. Played some really good football early on. Had some magical moments. But hey, the further you get in that playoffs, you show who you are. And that's another thing. Let's start realizing you need to separate the regular season from the playoffs. People want to combine the regular season with the playoffs just to make certain players look better than they are. The only thing that matters in the NFL for a quarterback is how you play versus the great competition when it matters most. All that other stuff is just a qualifier. All that other stuff is a qualifier to get you in the conversation. But once you're in that conversation, how are you in the biggest games at the biggest moment against the biggest competition? That's what it comes down to. Marino is an elite. See, once again, this is what y'all love to do. I already explained to you all, so make sure that you don't keep this repetitive cycle of trying to prove me wrong instead of listening to what's being said. This does not count in the football era where the quarterback salaries did not impact the salary cap like they do today. Back then, it didn't matter when you had a quarterback making 6% of the entire salary cap. They may have been getting paid a lot, but it was 6% of the salary cap. Today, you got players making 22, 23% of the salary cap. So if they're going to take more of the money, they have to take more of the responsibility. And if you're not living up to the responsibility of the share that you're taking, you are hurting the team. So if I'm giving you an elite share, you can't give me a good production. I need elite production. If you're going to take up 20% of the salary cap, I need elite production. You can't take up 20% of the salary cap and give me good production. Now you're not giving me the value that I'm paying for. And the problem out here is these general managers are paying them the value better than the production they can handle. They're paying them the value that's over the production of. See, we always want to talk about team game. Then that's fine. It's a team game. But nobody's being paid to compensate for production more than the quarterback. So when we win and we lose, you make sure you look at that quarterback as 20% of why we win or why we lose. Now, it is a team game, but don't sit here and tell me we need to fix that 2% guy, that 3% guy, that 6% guy, that 3% guy, that 2% guy. All over just fixing the 20% guy. Because if I wasn't giving him 20, I could pay, instead of buying that 2%, I could spend 4 on that position and I'm in a better position. I could spend more on a lot of others. So if we want to talk team game, of course it's a team game. But the more of the salary cap you take, the more responsibility you have for the team's success. That's my opinion. That's why I didn't have a problem with Mike McDaniel doing what he did to Tyreek Hill. Because the percentage of money that he is taking on from the team, which is about somewhere like 13%, second highest on the roster, then you need to get a large percent of the blame. So good job, Mike McDaniel. Good job. Well, actually highest, not second highest, because Tua was only making like $8 million a year. They manipulated up, different ways, but that's all Tua was making. So Tyreek was the highest paid on the team. So you're taking the highest responsibility. So he needs to own that, what Mike McDaniel said. And it's right. That's real. If you ain't got an elite quarterback, then you need one. And if you don't get one, then you got to figure out a formula that's harder to figure out. That's just the reality. No, I'm not saying that a formula can't be figured out. But let me ask y'all a real question here. Let's be honest about something. We are the San Francisco 49ers, and the San Francisco 49ers are us. And truth be told, they are better. Their trenches are better. They got the weapons just like us. They don't need 2 running backs coming. McCaffrey can handle it on his own. But when you look at them, what more can they do? Real talk. Look at the San Francisco 49ers in the Super Bowl. What more could they have done other than nitpick and say, Purdy got to play better than Mahomes? He played great, but we would have won if he would have played better than Mahomes. No lies told. You look at that team, you look at that roster, where you want to look and say, okay, let's get better there. Let's get better there. They're loaded. The only solution for them, Purdy got to outplay Mahomes. He came close. Purdy had almost a perfect game, but them 3 throws, that's it. I'm telling you, one of them throws, that Brandon Ayuk crosser coming across the middle before they had the punt, that big old first down for like 20 yards right in field goal range. That one in the back of the end zone that the man was wide open and he overthrew it. And Purdy had a heck of a game. But what more do you want them to be? And that should give you your answer. You can't look at the 49ers roster and be like, well, they could be better there. They could be better there. They could be better there. They need a better O-line, ranked 20th. Man, miss me with that. You could be ranked 20th, but you know that O-line is good and effective. That O-line is good and effective. And let's not forget, a part of why their ranking took a dive this year were because of the games that their star left tackle missed, in which they had their worst 3 games of the season. Everything tanked in those games. But he wasn't gone in the playoffs. He wasn't missing in the playoffs. He was right there. And that O-line was just fine. Tell you what, that O-line was way better than the Chiefs O-line. The same Chiefs that got rid of their 2 tackles last year and went with these 2 no-name tackles. Just saying. If you look at the Miami Dolphins and you look at the San Francisco 49ers, they're better than us. But at the same token of them being better than us, let's call it what it is. What more could they have done? It's not like they lost the game on a sack. It's not like they lost the game on a rush, a negative rush. McCaffrey still ate. They were still catching the ball. The quarterback just simply missed on 3 critical plays in the game. And he still had an amazing game. So we're not shunning him for having an amazing game, but I'm sorry. You got to be better than the Mahomes. CB83 said, TD, according to your logic, we shouldn't even line up. We aren't winning without an elite quarterback. Nowhere does my logic say that, because you have to play the game. Why wouldn't we line up? Patrick Mahomes might get hurt tomorrow. We don't know. We already looked at that Burrow got hurt. And some of those guys. Patrick Mahomes might get hurt tomorrow. Truth be told, if Burrow didn't get hurt, we might not even have made the wild card, if you really want to be honest. But you line up because you don't know what's going to happen in any given year. Some of your top players go down, you got a shot now. And on top of that, you line up anyway to keep evaluating your players. But the problem that I'm getting at here today is this. At what point are general managers going to stop being stupid and a prisoner of the quarterback? You're going to get you a really good quarterback who ain't going to do nothing but be really good for 10 to 15 years, and then you're going to move on and don't win no Super Bowls. Is Dak Prescott a top 10 quarterback in the NFL, ladies and gentlemen? Yeah. Where that's getting him? Where's that getting him? Is he out playing Patrick Mahomes? Is he out playing the quarterbacks that's still on a rookie deal? They got everything around them. Is he out playing those type of situations? Nah. But he a top 10 quarterback. What you gonna do? Just get rid of him? All right, just keep on re-ing up the contract. All right. And you know the saddest part about it with the Cowboys? They not do the same thing with Tony Romo for 50 years. Like, you can't make it up. The proof is all around y'all, but y'all want to ignore it because it's so hard to get an elite quarterback that when you got a really good one, it don't matter. I'd rather the misery of trying to build around them for 15 years. You keep drafting until you find one. And here's the crazy thing about it. You know your biggest proof of it all? It ain't the Cowboys with Romo. It ain't the Cowboys with Dak. It's the 49ers themselves. What have Brock Purdy done that Jimmy Garoppolo didn't do? What has Brock Purdy done that Jimmy G hasn't done? Remember when Jimmy G went to the Super Bowl and I'll never forget. I was streaming the game and he missed that one pass across the middle that would have been the game. And he overthrew the man. He missed that one key pass over the middle. Purdy has almost won MVP and Jimmy G didn't. Wow, big difference. Big difference. Jimmy G lost to a younger Mahomes too. Yeah, more feisty Mahomes. Mahomes a little more settled in and seasoned now. You know, he ain't got that fire. He got that fire, but y'all know what I mean. That pass was rigged, TD. You know the games be rigged. But hey, call it whatever you want. Even if it was rigged, but the NFL didn't want Jimmy G to have that pass. But that's what it came down to. Jimmy G led them to a Super Bowl, AFC championship game. I mean, come on. And they said, this team is loaded. There's only one area we could get better, but he's already good. He just ain't elite. We got to try. And what did they do? They went and spent all that draft capital to try with Trey Lance. And didn't know Purdy was actually the answer all along. and maybe he not. Maybe it's just Jimmy G again. But you see how funny it is? But you wonder why the 49ers keep on being at the top. The one thing I commend about them is the Jimmy G situation and the Trey Lance situation. Jimmy G is a good quarterback. We went to a Super Bowl with him. We went to an NFC championship game with him. But we want better. In comes Trey Lance. In comes Purdy. At least they willing to move. Man, we'll go to the Super Bowl in the AFC championship game. Y'all be trying to get this man a 50-year contract. Let us go to a Super Bowl with Tua and lose in the AFC championship game. Oh, man. Oh, but the funny thing is, do you see the difference? Do you see what they did with Jimmy G, even though they went to a Super Bowl and an NFC championship game? That's the smartest franchise I've seen. They still trying to figure it out, but at least they making the moves and not being scared to do it. I mean, what team has had that much success in the last 7 years and went through that many quarterbacks? Tell me the team that's had as much success as the 49ers while going through 3 different quarterbacks in 7 years. You know why? Because they ain't dumb over there. They're literally saying, yeah, but if we could get a little better at that position, he good, but if we can get a little better, we understand. This team is loaded. What more do you want us to really do? But if we could get a little better, because they actually paid Jimmy G, and they were like, crap, man, we paid this man. Now the injuries coming, plus he would get to the big game, and technically the team playing well. He playing all right too, but he ain't playing like the guy across the field. We got to do better. Do you remember how much they gave up for Trey Lance? Do y'all remember what they gave up to move up to go get Trey Lance? I told you all you needed to know. And he was awful. And they gave Purdy an opportunity, and there you have it. But they ain't scared to move. They're not scared to move on and keep on swinging until they get it right. And again, that's the one thing I commend about them. I commend them. But if we were in that same situation, Jimmy Garoppolo would have still been on this team. Tell me I'm wrong. If the Dolphins were in that same situation with Tua, Jimmy G would have still been on the team. He would have still been on the team. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. If Tua did what Jimmy G did, man, tell me I'm wrong. And I'm so sick of the narrative. Would you just get rid of your quarterback? Nobody's saying get rid of him, but go ahead and have you keep on drafting a Purdy until you feel like you got something. Keep on looking. You keep on putting somebody on that roster until you feel like you got a spark in practice that can't be denied. You keep on getting somebody on that roster till you feel like Mike White ain't the guy. And if Skyler ain't the guy, you should already had another guy on that roster that you knew if you had something or not. And if you don't, you got to go get another guy. Why aren't we drafting a quarterback in every single draft? We go get these guys that you know aren't going to take over. You can't make this stuff up. You can't make this stuff up. When's the mock? It's coming soon. Eli was paid and did it twice, and his percentage was higher than Brady both times. I actually agree with you, but was Eli elite then, or was he the exception? You keep missing what I'm saying. Eli Manning won when the salary, even with his higher salary cap, you got to look at the percentage that he was taking up of the team. You got to look at the percentage. Matter of fact, I'll just pull it up for you. That's what I'll pull up his career earnings. And do you remember, by the way, what year Eli won the Super Bowl? Because I don't. Career earnings. Do you remember what year Eli won the Super Bowl? Somebody put it in the chat for me, y'all football heads. $2008, $10.9 million, $11 million. The year before that, he actually made more, which was 13. He was $11 million. I'm seeing a salary of 8.4, roster bonus of $1 million, incentives of 1.5. He made $11 million. Hold on. Wait. Hold on. Let me see something. Hey, y'all saying 07 and 16, man, y'all all over the place. I'm getting 07 and 11, 07, 16, 08, 2012. This is why I got to look it up myself. I'll look it up myself, y'all. I'll look it up myself, all right? Eli Manning. Super Bowl. All right. All right, here we go. It's taking a while to come up. All right, 2008 and 2012. All right, 2008, Eli Manning, like I said, was pretty much 11 million. It was 10.95. In 2012, he was 11.2 million. Okay. Let me go to. All right. NFL. All right, salary cap by year. CP. Oh, that's the wrong one. Oh, that's the wrong thing. Yeah, give me a second. I'll have it up. All right. All right. In 2008, the salary cap was 116 million, which means that Eli Manning was pretty much making about 9% of the salary cap, not 20 plus like today. And in 2012, it was 120. So he was making about 8.5% of the salary cap. Okay. That's the percentage of the salary cap he was making at the time. So when you have a $225,000 million salary cap, and you got quarterbacks literally making 40 million, that's literally 20%. Double. $250 million salary caps with people making 40, 18%. And we're about to enter the range like Dak Prescott making $55 million of a straight up cap hit this year. $55 million. And let me see something real quick. I think what's the salary cap right now? Let me see. Is it like 250 or something? Let me look. 2024 salary cap NFL. All right, 255. 255 times 0.20. So Dak is making about 21% of the salary cap. 255 times 0.21. Nope. Might be 22. Hold on. 55.4 times 0.22. Yeah, Dak making about 21.8% of the salary cap. You're 1/5 of the whole roster. You're 1/5 of the entire roster of a cap hit this year. And we want to talk about the Eli Manning days when they were making half of what these guys are making. Half. It's crazy. It's ridiculous. All right, let me read a few more super chats. Please explain to me why Grier has a job for life and why there is no accountability at this country club. Why is failure okay? It sickens me. Well, I told y'all the one thing I admire about Chris Grier is his ability to survive. He don't have a job for life, but he got a job right now, and y'all got to realize ain't nothing going to shake until this lawsuit situation resolved with Brian Flores. There's a lot that goes into that situation too. There's a lot that goes into, like, let's be honest. We already know the NFL knows that we were tampering with Tom Brady. Okay? We already know that. There are also some other speculations that were made. Those things have to be worked out in court, which eventually they'll settle. Okay? But in the event that there was some foulness going on, who you think is right in the middle of all of it? He's straight. If it's true, he's straight. Ain't nothing we could do about it. If there was some foul play and things going on, Chris Grier's straight because he knows. He's straight. But we don't know that whole situation. So, hey, TD, do you think the way we draft this Thursday will tell us if we going down those same old paths you were talking about for us 15 plus fans? No, the draft ain't gonna have nothing to do with that. Now, if we go get some bums that we never heard of and they taking reaches where it's like, oh, who is this? Oh, they believe in them, all that stuff. That's a different story. But we're gonna get some solid players that we like. But we're gonna have to judge that when time comes, you know? I mean, you don't know. I don't care if Joe Alt was on the board at 21 and you got him. You don't know until he balls out in the NFL. Deion Jordan, you remember him? You don't know. So it doesn't matter who you draft. We're going to sit back and we're going to love the draft pick. I know I'm probably going to be excited with the talent that's on the board. I know we're going to pick a good one. But we got to sit back and see how they translate to the NFL. And if we hit, that's good. If we don't, another one in the books of a failure. You won't know until they get on the field and years have passed. We still don't know about Tua. Like, I want you to think about it. Go back. Tua. We still don't know. People can act like they do. But if we knew without a shadow of a doubt, there would have never been this much controversy continuously. We still asking questions 4 years later. Austin Jackson. He ain't what we thought he was going to be. We finally got him back to being serviceable. But when you look at his deal, that tells you all you need to know. They not high on him. They just felt like, hey, we could move forward with them for now. After this year, he ain't even got no more guaranteed money on the contract. 1 year of guarantees on his contract, $13.5 million or something. And we know we failed on the Noah monogamy situation. Then you move forward to the next year. Jalen Waddle. One moment. Thank you. You move forward to the next year. Jalen Waddle. You should have hit. That was like a guaranteed hit. I ain't gonna talk bad about Jalen Waddle, but he like 9 out of 10 of what I want him to be. And hey, that ain't no problem either. That's a hit regardless. But there's still more to be desired. He drops. Well, he always had a limp. So the injuries here and there, little small knickknacks. But he's working out. But should he not have picking at 5? Well, 6, excuse me. Jalen Phillips. He reminds me of Christian Wilkins. Keep getting better, but still not there yet. Because don't forget, Christian Wilkins didn't arrive until last year. The year before, he arrived, but he still wasn't getting sacks. Last year, he put it all together. Jalen Phillips, I don't like the situation we in because he's trending up, but unlike Christian Wilkins, he got hit with a major injury. I'm scared about that situation long term. I know a lot of people love him and they're not worried about it. I am terrified about that situation long term because I believe we're going to commit before we guarantee no. And he's a good player, regardless. But that's not act like there's not another level that we love for him to reach. Matter of fact, there's like 2 more levels we love for him to reach. I don't see him getting to the top. I don't see him becoming Jason Taylor. I don't see him, becoming the elite of elites. But I see another level in him of a dog, one of the good edge rushers in the league that's solid every year. But I don't see this game record Pro Bowler every year. Because remember, at the defensive end position, there's a lot of them in the league. And Jalen Phillips ain't a top 4. I don't even think he'll ever be a top 4 in the NFL at the edge. There's a lot of them in the league. I know people don't like to hear what I'm saying right now, but he could be a good player. But there's a lot in this league on the edge. But we got to hope that he could just be a good player for us. Javon Holland. I'm going to be honest. I try to leave Javon and Holland alone when it comes to my evaluations because it just seems so wrong. Like, I'm going to be honest. I love Javon Holland. I like him. But tape don't lie. I don't know what it is. In the big games, man, Holland is a scrub in the big games. Y'all don't even hear his name. And sometimes that's a good thing, but sometimes it's a bad thing too. But in the big games, he's a scrub, bro. In the trash team games, Holland everywhere. You hear his name. He making plays. I don't know what it is because I feel like that's a position where there shouldn't be a difference in big games or small games. You should always be in place. You should always be in place. I don't know. Just me. And y'all talk about Fangio's system. That's why. Well, according to numbers, he had his best season of his career under Fangio. It's just them big games. People don't realize how many, like we played like 11 scrub games. That is a large sample size. That's why they considered us having the worst strength of schedule. We had the worst in the NFL. The easiest. People don't understand that, like, that is a big number. It's a big number. 11, like bad teams. That's a beautiful schedule to have. Beautiful. Sad part about it is we only won 11 games. That's ugly. The schedule we had, ladies and gentlemen, a real contender would have won 14 games. A real contender would have beat their divisional foe at least once, Buffalo. A divisional contender would have not have lost to the Tennessee game. And a divisional contender would have gotten at least one more win versus either Baltimore, Eagles, Chiefs, and whoever else we played that we lost. We should have won 14 games. And that's the truth that a lot of people not realizing. Well, we made the playoffs. That's an accomplishment. With the easiest schedule in the NFL, when it was all said and done, we should have won 14 games. And y'all know it. Y'all know we should have beat Tennessee. There go 12 games. Y'all know you got to beat the Chiefs at least once, that first game at least. That's 13 right there. And come on, if you're a real team, you got to get one of those good teams. You got to put up a fight and beat one of them good teams. We should have won 14 games if we were a legitimate team. But we won exactly what we were supposed to because we're an opportunistic team beating up on the scrubs. And all year, people want to act like that doesn't matter. By week 12, many of us told y'all it is a direct correlation and reflection of what you're going to do in the playoffs. No, it's a whole different season in the playoffs. Albeit that is true, but it is a reflection of what you're probably going to take into the playoffs. There's a reason why you beat no good teams in the regular season. And all of a sudden, we were supposed to change that in the playoffs. Y'all really think it was going to be different if we were in 70 degrees? Y'all got to stop. Yeah, see, they dispelled that rumor too. I'll never forget. You can't beat a good team. All right, well, we don't lose at home, though. Tennessee got us. Well, it ain't going to be cold late in the season at home. Baltimore. Buffalo. We had no excuse. Every little narrative that we tried to say to make to give us hope, it was crushed. So stop using it all of a sudden in the playoffs. Oh, well, if the temperature wasn't so cold, Teron Armstead said that cold was unbearable. Should have been unbearable for the Chiefs too. Oh, they're used to the cold. They ain't used to no negative 13 degrees. Stop. Stop that mess. We were at Baltimore. Was it 20 degrees? Or was it 54 or something like that? That's all I'm saying. All of them narratives went away. All those narratives got dispelled. Shout out to A. Burgos. It's all about you, baby. Member for 35 months, y'all. That is crazy. You're literally going on 3 years being a member of the channel, bro. Love you, man. Salute to you. I might be going to that UM game in Tampa this year at the Buck Stadium. I might go to that one. Grier puts the talent on the field. Why is it that talent he putting up on the field ain't showing up, in the big games? Why ain't that talent he put on the field showing up in the big games? You keep on in free agency getting these injury-prone players, and then when they get hurt, we make it seem like, oh, it was just unfortunate. No, there was an extra percentage of chance that was going to happen that should have been prepared for, but he don't prepare for it. So I agree. He does put the talent on the field. But when we got more talent than our opponent and we're still losing, and listen, I know everybody want to say, well, that's on Mike McDaniel. He got to be able to, man, y'all don't want to recognize the talent that Chris Grier also gives us has limitations. Teron Armstead, limitation. He only available 11 games. Mike McDaniel got to deal with that and then try to change up the blocking game plan when he ain't there. All this lack of continuity. Your quarterback limited. He can only do certain things as a quarterback. So you got to keep the offense into that confine of making sure he's comfortable. And when you take him out of his comfort zone, you have options to put him into things that'll work, but they will make him uncomfortable. And you see it. And when you see it, we go right back to what make them comfortable, but they still shutting it down. Why is it so hard for a lot of people to acknowledge that point? Like it doesn't exist. That our quarterback has certain limitations that Mike McDaniel makes sure that he doesn't have to expose. Mike McDaniel doesn't put him in a position to where he has to do the things that aren't his strengths. Why can't we acknowledge that? And if we do acknowledge that, why can't we acknowledge that in some games, when they take away our quarterback strengths, when you look at the opportunities that the coach can make an adjustment, like throw outside the numbers, they're clogging the middle, but they're giving you the outside. Why can't we acknowledge our quarterback struggles outside the numbers? Why can't we acknowledge that? And then when he dials up things outside the numbers and our quarterback looks hesitant or doesn't look good when he makes those throws and mistakes are being made, he's forced to go back to what he does well because that is a lost cause. But going back to what he does well, they're still all over it. What is he supposed to do? Be this more than a genius that y'all already perceive him to be, to say, well, you need to create stuff over the middle that even if they clog it, it still beats it. Like what are we doing? Now he needs to be this guru that we eat even when they clog the middle. We eat over the middle. Like, what do you want him to do? Grier made Super Bowl moves and got blown out round one. True. See, your theory of 20% wouldn't apply in 2012. For example, the highest paid quarterback was Drew Brees, and his percentage was 16.6 of the 120 million salary cap. Okay. You're saying it wouldn't apply in 2012. Yeah, I'm looking at the league, honestly, in a lens, like the way I look at it. I've been looking at the NFL in a lens of the last 10 years. Because I feel like between 2011 and 2014, there was kind of this major shift in the NFL. Because that's when the cap started to accelerate at an alarming rate. But then the pandemic hit and it slowed down and it actually reduced. It dropped. And now it's catching up at an accelerated rate. So I look at the last 10 years of how the salary cap has impacted teams, and it's totally different from those guys before 2014. They're not hitting as hard. They're just not. So yeah, that's how I feel about it. And by the way, let's not act like Drew Brees wasn't that dude. Let's not act like Drew Brees wasn't that dude, though. So yeah. Drew Brees elite. He's Tua with a team hitting on all cylinders. Stop lying. That's another thing y'all need to do. Stop lying about Tua and Drew Brees. Stop lying about that. The only comparison you can make is the height. Y'all need to stop that mess. Drew Brees was a gunslinger in his truest form. But the difference is he didn't have the arm strength. But you know what? At least Drew Brees can identify right away where to go with the ball every time. It wasn't this timing offense like that. Drew Brees could process and know where to go. He didn't have to guess. He knew based off of the defense and the movement where to go post snap. That's the difference. Like, will we not acknowledge that about Drew Brees? He actually could read the field post snap. It's the one element that y'all walk right over when y'all try to compare him to Tua. There wasn't no timing offense. Drew Brees picked that chin up and he going through progression. Looking and slinging the rock. He going through progressions. Drew Brees wasn't no first read merchant. He knew how to get to the next read and the next read. How am I a hater? Am I wrong? Am I wrong? Yes or no in the chat. Am I wrong about Drew Brees? Am I wrong? Y'all cut that mess, man. If y'all saying, yeah, I'm wrong, so you're saying Drew Brees couldn't process the field. Drew Brees didn't go through his progressions. Drew Brees competed and played at the highest level against great competition when he got his weapons. Mic drop right there alone. Mic drop right there alone. Drew Brees competed at the highest level against great competition. Win, lose, or draw, he competed. Drew Brees, when he got his weapons, he wasn't out here getting smoked. He wasn't out here putting up 7 points. Drew Brees was eating shootouts. Trying to compare this man to Drew Brees. Losing every good game in a season. Out of here with that mess. Ridiculous, man. I seen Drew Brees in January. I seen Drew Brees in January. Out of here with that mess. Drew Brees took 6 or 7 years to start popping off. Man, y'all, as soon as he got his weapons, I'm not going to discount the fact that it took a while and it was a struggle at first with nothing around him, just like Tua. But as soon as Drew Brees got his weapons, miss me with all that. Compare Drew Brees when he got his weapons to Tua when he got his weapons. It ain't even close. It ain't even close. Cut that mess. Yeah, man, they got me in mid-season form, man. They got me in mid-season form, y'all. Out here talking that crazy. They always try to make somebody compare, but don't look at the whole situation. Every time. Man, oh man, oh man. And let's call a spade a spade. Drew Brees, when he was with the Chargers, it was for like 5 years. We already knew what was going on there with Drew Brees. And the problem with Drew Brees is he was throwing a lot of interceptions. You can't count his like first year because he played one game. So technically, when you look at his first 4 playing years, and that was all 4 with the Chargers, man. I keep on San Diego, LA. It just keep on messing my head up. The difference. But yeah, man. He got to New Orleans, and what happened? He got his weapons. He got his weapons. Drew Brees with weapons. That's the comparison, ladies and gentlemen. Stop trying to make it about 6 or 7 years. Sorry it took that long for him to actually get a supporting cast. When Tua got his supporting cast, y'all, man, I ain't gonna lie. Y'all need to stop. Y'all need to stop. As soon as Drew Brees got his supporting cast, he was an all-pro. Very first year. Very first year. All-pro. Y'all funny. And also, the very first year he got his supporting cast, he won a playoff game. By the way. The next year after that, Super Bowl. His second year having his supporting cast, he won a Super Bowl. That's what we were supposed to do this year. And once again, it's the best freaking roster our current quarterback is ever going to have. And whether y'all want to acknowledge it about or not, our roster is going to be a little less this year. I know this collectively we're better. Sorry. Big name talent that matters the most in the big games, we're less than this year. But if y'all want to compare to Drew Brees, we should have won a Super Bowl last year like Drew Brees. Matter of fact, 2 years ago, we should have won a playoff game like Drew Brees when he got his weapons. When he got his weapons. Y'all want to make it about how many years. No, it's about when you got your weapons. When you got a team around you that supports you. Not even close. Not even close. Ain't even close, man. You know what y'all talking about? Thank you, baby. We're going to see, y'all. We're going to see. Time will tell. It always does. Time will tell. It always does. Hopefully Tua can get to a point to make us all proud and shock us. Ah. The team gets injured because they soft. Nah. I ain't gonna say that. Brees averaged 40 touchdowns, 5,000 passing yards from 2011 to 2014. Went toe-to-toe with Rodgers, Brady, Manning in their primes. No comparison at all. Stop. You said it, I didn't. Because they're the boy, they ready to come for me. They ready to come for me. But here's another thing I want people to think about with Drew Brees, right? Here's another thing. A lot of people don't realize that when he got to New Orleans, it was a good deal for the team because of the struggles that he had, right? And after that Super Bowl and the year after, they paid that man. They paid him. And then you start going into the era where it started affecting the salary cap. He was still winning playoff games, but he couldn't get back to that Super Bowl. Couldn't get back to that Super Bowl. But we are not going to sit here and try to make these comparisons with Drew Brees. Man, we're not going to do that. As soon as Drew Brees got his weapons, man, he was nonstop. And now, don't get me wrong. What a lot of people don't realize is Drew Brees threw a lot of interceptions his entire career. He threw a lot of interceptions his whole career. But Drew Brees was also almost throwing the ball like almost 600-700 times a season. 4,000, 5,000 yards every single year. Let me see. Drew Brees had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 straight years of throwing over 4,300 yards. 12 straight years of throwing over 4,300. This man had 4,000 or 5,000 yard seasons. And a lot of seasons that were like 4,900, 4,800, 47. It's crazy, man. But he always threw a lot of picks. Like when you look at his career, he was like a 2.3 to 1 interception ratio. Now I'm gonna be honest, it's not ain't that good to me. I mean, it's straight for back then, but it ain't all that to me. That was the one knock on his career, the interceptions, man. Yeah, I mean, he double digits like nothing. Let's see what y'all saying in the chat. The Brees disrespect is crazy. Yeah, the disrespect is trying to compare this man to Tua. And it's funny, they always try to use a comparison to buy Tua time. That's the only reason they compare him, to try to buy him time. Well, look at what Drew Brees did his first 4 years. Oh, man. Eli won 2 Super Bowls. We already talked about this. Y'all stop talking about quarterbacks who were taking up 10% of the salary cap at max. When today these quarterbacks taking up 20. So you got to be on a rookie deal, man, or you got to be elite. TD big mad that they're about to pay Tua. Why would I be mad? Disappointed, but not mad. I do this for a living. Sorry, a lot of y'all, some of y'all, especially my haters, y'all gotta understand. I do this for a living now. God has blessed me to do this for a living. It's my job to talk to y'all about what I think about the decisions they making. Truth be told, I'd rather the team be winning and making great decisions. But we'd all be on the same page, and I'd just be a whole nother talking head out here saying what everybody else is saying. I would prefer that, by the way, because that means we were actually winning. But when we're not, and I'm telling you the truth, and every year we look up at the end of the season and it looks like my truth was more right than the other people, I do this for a living now. So when everybody out there selling you hope and they let you down, And then you get mad at me for telling you the truth and telling you what's probably going to happen. And then when it happened, just saying. Just saying. TD says everything, so always wrong. You know what the truth is, Aaron Jones? I actually do say everything. The difference with me, though, is I give you all the possibilities. See, some of y'all don't notice that I very subtly sometimes tell you, Tua could win us a Super Bowl. He might win us a Super Bowl this year. He might be the best quarterback in the league. It's possible, but time will tell. Or he might bust out. See, that's the difference. If you want real news, your job is to give everybody every possibility and sit back and enjoy and give them your opinion on what you think is going to happen, but you're okay with being wrong. See, that's what I do. I give you my opinion on what I think, but I also give you all the possibilities. So when I tell you Tua might end up being the best quarterback of all time, Tua might end up, winning a Super Bowl this year, it is possible. It actually is possible. Now, here's what he need to do that. I think is highly unlikely, but it's possible. I give it to you every way. But of course, I'm going to let my opinion on the matter reign supreme until we know otherwise. That's what I do over here. I give you all the possibilities. So when we move on from Xavier Howard, and I told you we would, it's unfortunate that I told you 3 years ago we should have. And what did I tell you 3 years ago when everybody yelled at me, got mad at me, and was like, oh, he's the best in the league, and you want to get rid of him. You don't know football. And I told all y'all 3 years ago, you are about to waste his prime. Even if he balls out in the next 3 years, we ain't winning no Super Bowl like this. And even if he balls out, he's still got a high risk of getting hurt. I said, watch 3 years from now, y'all gonna be like, oh, we should have been traded him. Ladies and gentlemen, was I right or wrong? But in the moment when I'm saying it, I'm public enemy number one. Oh, this is some slapping coffee, man. It's pretty good. But in the moment when I'm telling y'all it 3 years early, I'm public enemy number one. I'm the big back boogeyman who don't want to be positive and don't know football because I want to get rid of X for a first round pick. When Baltimore was calling at the trade deadline 2 years ago, when I said this is your last chance for his value. And I'm public enemy number one. And here's what some of my haters love to do. I give you 5 new proclamations this year, and you hate all 5, and you think I'm wrong. And then 2 or 3 from the past, we finally get a conclusion, and I was right. But the only thing on your mind is the 5 new ones I just gave you. You won't even acknowledge the things that I told you would happen, why I would do what I would do. And then we come back. And TD, you wrong. TD, you wrong. Well, you know what? If I'm wrong, let's start actually taking tallies. Was I right or wrong about Xavier Howard? Put it in the chat. Was I right or wrong about Xavier Howard? Put it in the chat. And then I'm going to ask you another question to ask you, was I right or wrong? Because y'all told me, stop worrying about that. We'll be straight. We'll be able to keep them. We'll be able to do this and that. I told y'all 2 years ago, we're going to run into a situation. And I told you before last season too, we're going to struggle to pay Connor. We're going to struggle to pay Hunt. We're going to struggle to pay Christian Wilkins. And what did I tell y'all? I did a dedicated stream. Go back and look it up. I did a dedicated stream. And I started the stream and I told y'all, I know y'all gonna kill me for this. I know y'all are gonna kill me for this. Last year I did a stream and I started when I went live. Y'all saw the title and y'all were like, why? And you said it was clickbait. I said the Miami Dolphins are going to trade Christian Wilkins. And, this clickbait. I said it's not clickbait. If they're smart, you trade them now. Why would we trade Christian Wilkins? He one of our best. See, here you go with the stupidity again. I reference. Remember, y'all said this about Armstead. I'm not saying they're going to do it. I think they'll eventually pay the man. But if I'm the Dolphins, trade him now. Y'all got mad about that. And yeah, I was wrong. It was the worst scenario I gave you. I said, because if they don't trade him now and his price go through the roof, we ain't going to be able to afford to keep him. I mean, we might have to pay this man 24, 25 million. And I was wrong on that. It was what, 27? But I told you, trade him now. Why would we trade Christian Wilkins? We're going for a Super Bowl now. I get that, but I don't know if this is the team to win a Super Bowl. Oh, here come the hater again. You're right. Maybe I shouldn't be doubting this team because this is the best team we're ever going to have. If we can't do it now, we'll never do it. Y'all remember me saying all of this? And we let worst case scenario happen. We didn't get nothing for Christian Wilkins. Okay, a third round compensatory pick. Versus what you could have got. Robert Hunt, you got, a compensatory pick. Versus what you could have got. See, y'all ignore when I say these things because I do my research on the salary cap and everything, and I know when we're going to have some real decisions to make and some issues. And I'm not going to lie to y'all, I did not see them moving on from Christian Wilkins. I just did a stream saying it might be the wise thing to do to trade him. Because if you get into that money situation, if we pay him, that means we're going to probably move on from 4 other people. And we didn't pay him and we still moved on from 2 other people. The writing was on the wall. And I told y'all a year ahead of time. Listen, Aaron Jones, if I'm arguing with myself about always being right, no, I got to remind y'all sometimes. I got to remind y'all because I'm the one out here telling you what I believe is going to happen before it happened. And you kill somebody who giving you real content using their brain and analytics and in a real thought process to make these determinations. You get mad at those people. But then these people that give you hope every single day, and none of them turn out to end up being what it is. None of them. But that's what you want. So doggone right, I'm going to tell you when I was right. Because some of y'all don't seem to recognize it. So it's my job to remind you. It's my job to remind you. Y'all got to understand, man. Almost everything in life has a little level of competition to it, right? And I'm the type of guy, I'm not competing with anybody that do what I do from a number standpoint. I'm not competing with anybody like that. I compete on my craft. And what I mean by my craft, what y'all need to understand is you're going to have people that have better productions. You're going to have people that, have better energy. All of that, that's for y'all. But what we're saying to you, you got to judge who's out here know their stuff versus who don't know their stuff over time. It ain't about what you agree with today. It's about 2-3 years from now, what actually end up happening. See, I could disagree with you today, and say, I can't listen to you. I agree with that person. I'm going to listen to them. And then 3 years later, you don't even remember, dang, that guy told us that. No, you still over there listening to the narratives that's always wrong with a new excuse of why it ended up being wrong. And this isn't like specific at any specific person. It's not. I'm just saying in general that, like, you look at Omar Kelly, Elaine Poupar, Dudley Do-Wrong. I mean, everybody that kind of like in this arena, right? The truth of the matter is, the real thing is what you tell people, because some people run from giving you their opinion of stuff. They just give you the information. We're not in the same arena if they're just giving you the news and the information. I'm in the arena where I'm giving you the news and the information and giving you my quote unquote expert opinion about it. Expert opinion about it. And I put expert in quotations because I'm not looking for anybody to acknowledge that term. But I'm just saying, giving you my sound, what I believe is my sound opinion of it. Anybody who ain't giving you their sound opinion on it, we don't do the same thing. But those who do give you their sound opinion, the sport of it all is, over time, who know they stuff. That's the sport. And it ain't a bash out hating sport. It's a competitive, like a fun sport. It's a fun sport. So all y'all that be in the DMs talking about, oh, this person better than you and this and that, y'all be wasting y'all time. I'm not competing in that sense. God has blessed me to where I'm straight. Big time. I'm great. Thank you. Yeah. I liked it. A little more. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I've been blessed. I've been blessed to this point to where I'm straight regardless. Okay. So that's what it's about, man. Being able to give an opinion, looking at history and letting it tell. Truth of the matter is, we all just waiting on Tua. We all waiting on Tua. We all waiting on Tua. When are you going to prove to be the guy, or when are you going to get cut? That's all it's coming down to. If we win a Super Bowl, everybody who ever doubted Tua, they going to eat crow. Shut your mouth, TD. Shut it. Shut. Hey, boy, was I wrong. And after 7 years, if they end up trading them or cutting them, some of y'all still come on here and be like, TD always wrong. Thank you, baby. No, it's good. Yeah. Charge my watch. Is it dead? Oh, yeah, it is. Here you go. Thank you. Oh, man. See, some people think that just because we go give him a new deal, see, y'all were wrong. He is our franchise quarterback. Then that means you need to acknowledge Tannehill was our franchise quarterback. But some of y'all wouldn't dare do that. Y'all know what time it is. It's going to come down to real success. First team All-Pro. Super Bowl at least appearance. Y'all know what it's going to come down to. I ain't going to lie. I be getting a lot of people mad when I say this, but I don't need another Dan Marino. I don't need another quarterback who can win games. At least Dan Marino has some postseason success. But y'all know what time it is. We got to get that Super Bowl. We got to get that Super Bowl. At least go to it, right? Y'all, do y'all realize we out here begging for turtle crumbs? Like our like people, like they've conditioned us negatively so bad that people are like, If we could just win one playoff game this year, it would be a success. No, it won't. No, it won't. You know how many teams won a playoff game and ain't go back for 5 years? Like, people right now, like, if we can, the next step in our progression is win a playoff game. So hold on. You mean to tell me 2 years ago we were supposed to win our first playoff game? We failed. Last year, it was the same goal, just win a playoff game, and we failed. And now this year, the goal is still just win a playoff game. Do you realize? Somebody hit me up, DM me on Twitter. Y'all remember 2 days ago, I think I did a stream, and the stream was like Miami Dolphin narratives, all these narratives out here, right? And somebody gave me a narrative, and I was like, oh, how didn't I address that narrative? That was a big one, and y'all don't be laughing at me, my elbows ashy. All right. You know, your boy a little rough around the edges sometimes, it is what it is. This narrative, I ain't gonna lie to y'all. This is the one that drives me crazy. It really get under my skin. It don't get under my skin, but it get under my skin. We need to just continue to build around. Oh my God, give them the money. Like you hear these people on TV with this narrative, and Dolphin fans out here repeating it. Sign to the big contract and build around him. What you think we already did? We built and we put the roof on. We laid the grass. It was like Bermuda. I mean, we got the pool in. I mean, we got maids and build around Tua. Do you realize we already built? From this point on, the city say you can't build on no more. Now we need to increase your taxes. You got to pay more taxes. Now you ain't got no money to build on anymore. Matter of fact, some of the things you got now are going to start to have flaws that you got to keep trying to fix. And there ain't no more building. You got a quarter of an acre. You don't use the whole quarter. Build around Tua. What you think we already did? We ain't going to have a roster better than the one we got now. For a long time. When you pay him, it will be less building. Oh my God, did it do that freeze crap again? Right when I start cooking, right when I start cooking, boy, they always trying to shut me out, man. Man, every time I start cooking, they try to shut me out, y'all. God. CB83 say we starting over and drafting Penix TD. Reset it. No, that ain't what we doing. But the smartest thing for the Miami Dolphins to do, I don't care what nobody say, You know what? The real smart thing for the Miami Dolphins to do is draft best player available at 21, and then take your number 55 pick, take your next year third round pick, and maybe like a sixth rounder, and move up early in the second round and draft the Michael Penix. Now you got Tua as the starter, Michael Penix as the backup, and Michael Penix is making less money as a backup than Mike White. You already saved at least $1 million. And at least now you got somebody in Michael Penix. You tell Tua, you finna play this fifth-year option. You prove it, we'll give you the big bucks. You don't prove it and you bomb out in the season, we got to move on with Michael Penix and see if we can develop him. It's that simple. What about Skyler? He's the third flex quarterback unless he proves otherwise and he could be better. If he can't prove to be better, he's the emergency quarterback. That's the right plan for the Miami Dolphins if they smart. But instead, they want to handcuff themselves, knowing good and well they don't have to. Oh, but Tua's not going to play on his fifth year without a new contract. Well, guess what? You're going to allow the world to see Michael Penix with Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, and oh boy, you play them games you want to and let that man come in here and Purdy this thing or CJ Stroud this thing. You come in here you want to, you're going to be getting traded next year to the worst team in the league, and you're going to be set up to fail. Play them games you want to. Wish you would sit out. Good. We ain't got to pay you $24 million. You just keep on. That's simple. You don't want to show up? Well, we'll keep you on this roster and save $24 million, and we'll run it over the next season. It's my only issue. You're not required to pay him now. Not only do you have a fifth-year option, but you got 2 years worth of franchise tags if you need to. It's just literally stupid and irresponsible what they're doing right now. But some of y'all are okay with it because you just want your Wonder Boy to be locked in. Because you ain't thinking for the best interest of the team. And they miss me with that. Yeah, but if he balls out, the price goes up. Well, it's the one time it's worth it going up, and you shouldn't even hesitate or complain about paying it. I don't care if he won a Super Bowl. Give him $70 million, but he won one. I don't care if he got to the Super Bowl. Give him $60 million. He at least got there. He's proved himself. But do you know how much it's going to cost if you give him that money and he flake out like a bum? Oh, and don't sit here and act like that ain't a possibility. Don't sit here and act like it ain't a possibility. Some of y'all just want the assurances that he got his contract. Even if he bomb out, you still got to give him more time. You just signed him. He got guaranteed money. Oh, y'all know what time it is. Y'all know what time it is. Bit on me. How many NFL teams are hinging on a QB competition? Let's be real. How many other teams got questions at the quarterback position? Let's be real. You want to go through it? You want to count? You want to count the teams? All people doing is asking you to at least win one playoff game. Show me that you can show up in some big moment. So how many teams got guys who haven't done that they question? So that's the real question. So hinging on no QB competition? How many need to hinge on a QB competition? That's the question. I'm going to be honest with you. There's only 2 or 3 guys into a situation that should have competition right now. They don't need no competition for CJ Stroud. They already know what they got. Jordan Love, they know what they got. At least as of right now. Burrow, Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson. They know what they got. Jared Goff, they know what they got. Stafford, they know what they got. Cousins in Atlanta, they know what they got. I'm at 11 quarterbacks right now. Dak Prescott, they know what they got, but look at what they doing. They don't need no competition. They already know what time it is. They just can't keep affording that contract. They know who Jalen Hurts is. They know what Purdy's giving them. I'm at like 13 quarterbacks already. I'm up to 13 quarterbacks already. So then when you go on the flip side of it, what's the guy in Tennessee? What's the guy in Tennessee? What is his name? Gosh, why am I running a brain fart right here? Will Levis. No, they don't need quarterback competition. He showed enough to say, okay, let's see what you do next year. Let's see the growth. That's 14 right there. The Bears getting a new quarterback, 15. The Commanders getting another quarterback, that's 16. Patriots getting a new quarterback, that's 17. Raiders going to get a new quarterback, 18, and they're going to be competition. Saints getting a new quarterback probably, another one, 17, and that's competition. Herbert, they already know what they got. Number 1 offense production with the number 32 defense production. They know what they got in Herbert. Averages 28 points a game. More than almost every quarterback in the league. They already know what they got. They know they need to fix the defense. 18 right there. Giants looking for potential quarterback or competition. Another team. So far it's the Dolphins, the Giants, like the Raiders maybe. Those are the only competition type teams. Cardinals, they stuck with the money. Jags, I don't like Trevor right now, but they ain't pay him yet. So when you go down and you keep on digging down, Panthers, young guy, only played 1 year. One more year, there'll be talk about controversy over there if he don't do nothing. Steelers, Russell Wilson. And they go get Justin Fields, right? Smart move. Competition, they're going to give it to Russ, but you got a guy hanging in the balance. They did it. Smart. So when you really look at it, a lot of people know what they got, and a lot of people have a young guy that's on 1 or 2 years where they're about to find out if they need to get competition or not. That little middle is only like, 4 or 5 teams at max? 4 or 5 teams at max? And those quarterbacks should have competition because they ain't proved nothing yet. And they passed 2 years in this league. They're past 2 years in the league. So you passed 2 years in the league and you ain't proved nothing significant. Yeah, you should have a backup plan at this point. And you'd be a fool not to. But look at the Dolphins. That's exactly what we're going to do. TD, Tua has outplayed a lot of those guys you just mentioned in the head-to-head. Russ, Fields, Goff, Herbert, Goff, etc. I don't know why we always do this. Outplaying those guys in a head-to-head is not proving your value as a quarterback for an entire season in the NFL and what you can do in the roughest moments. I keep telling y'all, the way I look at the game, whether you agree with it or not, at the quarterback position, the only thing that matters is how you play in the big moments when it matters most. Now, how did a lot of those guys play in the big moments when it mattered most? Or have you done enough collectively Have you done enough collectively for where this team feels this guy ain't the guy that's holding us back? And what do people say when I say that? Well, Herbert ain't really proved nothing. Stop. The man literally leads the NFL in the points that he puts up. The man is averaging like 28 points a game. You want to go look at Tua's averages, even with the Denver game? It ain't his fault the defense giving up 30. Any team that gives up 30 points a game on defense, you ain't winning more than 8 games. It's not happening. Has Tua exceeded your expectations in terms of production, TD? Yes. Yes. I did not think he even had what he's shown us in him. And that's why I have moments sometimes where I'm like, well, you never know. You never know, because he's already shocked me. Like, I'm the guy that keeps saying he done exceeded his ceiling. He done exceeded his ceiling. He ain't hit his ceiling. He exceeded it. I think a lot of stuff is about to come down to earth this year. But he might come out and knock out 13 games, be the MVP, first team All-Pro, 2 playoff wins, AFC championship loss. Let's ride. Now I'm going to be mad at him losing in the AFC championship to a better quarterback, and he ain't going to play well, but let's still ride. Get that man his money. But no, we're going to give it to him before he do that. And that's where I have a problem. That's where I have a problem. And y'all say he's not even close to his ceiling. Yeah, I know, because when he exceeded it, he really literally went down to the floor 2 years in a row. So he ain't even close to being up there where he showed that he can go, because he keep face bombing to the ground. Around week 12 every year, that shift start to happen. Around week 12 every year, yeah, there go that shift. Here it is. Bungee jumping without the cord every time. And I'm telling y'all, wait till you see life without Tyreek Hill. Yeah, some of y'all need to be really terrified that they didn't restructure Tyreek Hill, which might give you an indication they're going to play this last year and move on. And you better hope they don't. Because when life without Tyreek Hill hit, I'm telling y'all, boy, oh boy, oh boy. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Boy, oh boy. Oh, man. Y'all don't see it now. You don't see it now. Can't tell some of y'all. Y'all gonna find out. I promise you that. I promise. Maybe I promise. Maybe I promise that I will never leave. Yes, he is. He gonna be gone soon. Everything won't be all right. Hey, what's wrong with my water bottle? The lid won't stay on. Don't worry. Some of y'all better hope that we draft one of them receivers at 21. Real talk. Some of y'all better hope we get one of them receivers at 21. I know we out here keep on talking about that O-line and defensive tackle. Some of y'all better hope we get a receiver at 21. Real talk. Life is going to be different. Yeah, like, if we want to be honest, man, y'all see how much Tyreek Hill bails us out. Like, let's be honest. We be like, good throws, bad throws, underthrows, overthrows. Man, y'all see what Tyreek out there doing. And then we got the nerve to cry about a drop or a bobble or a fumble. Man, do you realize Like, you are lying to yourself if you think another receiver in the draft is going to come up in here and give you 1,800 yards like that, while Waddle's still dropping 13 or 14. Because even if you get that wide receiver in the first round, like, come on, man. Let's be honest. Is that guy coming in giving you 1,800? Don't worry. 2-3 years from now, it's just what I believe. And this is the part where a lot of y'all don't want to listen to me. And you want to, look at me and be like, yeah, whatever. But I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm not on a stream saying, how could you not have seen it coming? I mean, it was right in front of your face. I understand hope, but we should have known this was coming. I hope I'm wrong, and I'm never saying that. But deep down, a lot of y'all feel it. From a Texans fan, too, is not it. Boy, we didn't even get to our mock draft. We're going to have to do the mock tomorrow, man. Y'all just had me cooking. Y'all just had me cooking all night, man. We're going to have to get to the mock tomorrow. I promised my wife 2 hours so that we could do our Bible study and devotion. So I'm going to honor that for sure. So I'm about to get up out of here. All right. Listen, man, y'all hit that like button. Think about the things that were said. And I'm not complaining. I just think that the Dolphins need to be a little wiser in their approach. Don't do Hail Marys on third down with 1 minute and 20 seconds left. You know what I mean? Matter of fact, you're down by 2. You don't need to, your play call doesn't need to be a Hail Mary on second down by 2 at the 50-yard line with 1 minute left. That's what the Dolphins, I feel like they're doing. They're in the huddle, and the play that's being called with the whole minute left at the 50-yard line with 3 timeouts. Hail Mary. Second down, Hail Mary. 2nd and 3, Hail Mary. You don't have to. You don't have to. But that's what the Dolphins are doing when they ink this contract. You don't have to. No, I'm not complaining. I'm reasoning. I'm just simply reasoning, discussing logic. Because if we were in the fourth quarter with 1 minute left and we got 3 timeouts and it's 2nd and 3 at the 50-yard line and we dial up a Hail Mary, knowing some of y'all will be like, I like the play call. Down by 2. So I'm not complaining. I'm reasoning. Two in ears and 2 are about to have some crow for you. I gladly accept it. That means we'd be winning. Yeah, it'll be so Dolphin. And on that Hail Mary, we'll throw an interception. On that Hail Mary, we'll throw an interception. Then y'all be quick to say, Mike McDaniel. Well, yeah, you're right. He called the Hail Mary. And in this situation, it's Chris Grier. CB83 said, I'm rocking with my QB. Let's go get this chip. Yeah, that's the attitude to have. You should be rocking with your quarterback and let's go get this chip. But you could rock with them and go get this chip on a 5th-year option. That's all we're saying here. You can rock with your quarterback and go get this chip on a 5th-year option and give the team flexibility just in case. Because what if you sign him on a long-term deal and he get hurt? Knock on wood. How you feel? Sign him on a long-term deal and he looked like year 2 Tua. Average at best. Sign him on a long-term and he have his worst season. You don't have to. Jinx those injuries, TD. I knocked on wood. All right, y'all. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Once again, this stream is being powered by BetUS. Receive a 100% sign-up bonus, 125%, sign-up bonus with BetUS on your first 3 deposits, ladies and gentlemen. Again, I want to introduce you all to The Huddle on BetUS TV, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. Listen, a lot of people don't know that BetUS has an array of different channels. As you can see here, NBA picks and predictions, college basketball picks and predictions, MLB, soccer, UFC and boxing, golf, tennis, horse racing. Man, I mean, they got everything right on BetUS and BetUS TV. Every day we got the Huddle Show. Y'all come check us out Monday through Friday. Okay, 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. It's your boy TD, Richie, and Dan. The Huddle has been doing some big things, so y'all make sure y'all come through every day and come check us out, all right? Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Fans up no matter what. Supporting our sponsors is supporting the channel. The link is in the description of the video. I will see y'all tomorrow. The draft is getting closer and closer. It is crazy times, man, but I'm excited about it. I'm excited to draft some players that can hopefully help. I just hope that they're healthy and they make an impact on this team to help us take to the next step. Will they? Time will tell. We don't know, but we shall see. I just want some hope. I want some hope. Just want some hope, man. That's it. Give me some real hope. All right? Time will tell. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Fans up no matter what. Peace. I'm out.